What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you joining me for another episode of That's Right, I Said It, where we talk about all things mental health, kratom use, past drug use, anything surrounding going too far with that particular substance, or some people call it drug, that is of your choice. And nothing's off limits on this channel. We talk about a little bit of all of it, but I did want to read a couple of comments that I got yesterday. Yesterday I went on about a 20-minute rant about about a negative comment that I received, and I'm known to do that, man, and I'll probably continue to do that. So I'm not going to sit here to say that's going to change, but most of my subscribers are very cool, awesome, compassionate people. Are here for the right reasons, for just support, because we're kind of a community of people who all share some of the same issues, with drug use, and kind of going overboard with drug use and past and current. So, I get a lot of great, wonderful comments as well. And I wanted to address a couple of those today, since I went ham on a guy who left an idiotic, stupid comment yesterday. Anyway, don't even get me started on that one. The first one is, I was kind of beating myself up a little bit yesterday because I went on kind of, when my son was born, I went on about a week bender where I was just taking kratom every day. I wasn't working, so I didn't have that responsibility. And, when you're experiencing something, a life-defining event that is a blessing, such as a child being born into your family, you want to be happy during that time. You want to celebrate during that time. And, there's nothing better than celebrating with a mood-lifting kratom, right? I mean, at least that's my mentality. Someone who has suffered with an addiction to opiates all of my adult life. At least that's my thought. What could make this week better? I'm 47 years old. I'm having a baby. Well, my wife's having a baby, but I'm fathering a baby with my wife, who is my second wife, who she doesn't have any biological children, so this is her first child. We thought she couldn't have children. Here I am at 47 years old getting a second opportunity to have another child, and this time with my soulmate, with the woman that I am definitely going to be with until the day that I die, and what could be better than that, or what could possibly make that moment better? Kratom. Yeah, anything on kratom is better. It's one of those things where when you have that sort of addict mentality, some people it doesn't hit this way, and I'm gonna get to one of my guys' comments here in a minute, and he kind of talks about this very thing indirectly. But think of the most boringest, mundane activity that you could possibly do. Let me think of something. How about sitting and playing bingo with your 95-year-old grandmother? It may be a bad example because, but my grandparents have passed away, but obviously we all love our grandmother. So most people are going, well, it's not a good, I would love to do that. It's not a good example, but it's still boring. There's the inherent value. What do you call it? There's the intrinsic value of the fact that you're getting to spend time with your grandma. But let's get real. A 95-year-old woman playing bingo is not exciting, but you give me some kratom, or you give me an opiate, and then ask me if I would like to sit for 3 hours and play bingo with my 95-year-old grandma, I would be like, man, there's nothing in the world that sounds better than doing that to me right now. I mean, that just sounds like the greatest thing ever. I would forego doing anything else right now to sit and do that, and that's what opiates do for me. So as an addict, I'm one of those people that you give me a wonderful, amazing life event that is occurring in my life, and there is one thing that will be the icing on the cake to that already blessing, that already wonderful event: kratom, or some other sort of opiate. I say kratom because kratom's the only thing that I mess with these days. I don't mess with any. I haven't messed, pain pills or anything like that, or anything harder. I haven't messed with in a long time. But kratom, in and of itself, has become an issue for me, obviously, and I've talked about it. But anyway, let me talk about this. So I was kind of beating myself up a little bit because I went on a bender the other day, and or the other week rather, and one of my commenters jumped on. He said, this is his quote exactly. He says, "Buddy, give yourself some credit. Kratom is addictive. It's a blessing for those with severe pain issues, or for the occasional person looking for a mood boost, energy boost, pain reduction, but it can quickly become like a cigarette." I thought that was a good way to describe it. Something you're wanting all the time just for the sake of doing it. It's not weak to talk about it, and give yourself credit that you're on a tree leaf and not relapsing back to heavy opioids, which most opioid addicts do. You're a healthy, happy man with a beautiful family, and you're in a good spot to just keep growing every day and slowly, consistently aiming yourself in the direction that you want to be. Because at the end of the day, it's your life to lead, your family's life to protect and nurture. I need to taper down as well. Almost everyone these days has an addiction to something, a substance, a spending habit, their phone, social media, something. You're not a black sheep. You're a human. Keep fighting the good fight and look for those small moments of pleasure and gratitude over what you accomplished each day. Here for you. Man, that was Jonas. I mean, dude, do I not have the best, most supportive commenters ever? And see, that's the thing you'll find out about a lot of us addicts. It's a disease, it's an addiction, but it's not the type of character that we have. It's not the type of personality. You hear this term thrown around a lot, an addictive personality. Well, that actually is incorrect. And if you look up, some literature on, drug therapy and psychotherapy involving people who are drug addicts, you really find that their personalities are nothing like that. Their personalities and their character are nurturing, loving, compassionate, driven, happy, energetic people. And what happens is these substances come into their lives, and they see those substances as enhancing those very qualities that I just mentioned in them. And because they really value those things as values and character traits and characteristics, they use that substance to continually try to propel them, in those particular areas, in those particular characteristics and character traits. But the problem is there's a downside to that. And we talked about that yesterday. There's this tipping point where if you're taking that substance too regularly, too often, then when you go to stop taking it, it actually can have just the opposite effect of what you began to originally take that substance for. In other words, it's no longer a mood booster, it's a mood depleter. It no longer gives you energy. Now you're tired all the time. It's no longer helping with pain. You're actually experiencing more pain now coming off of it. And it's one of the biggest mental hocus pocus and mind fucks that I can ever think of. And that's something that as addicts, we have to deal with. But, perfect example, we are good people, man. Good hearts, compassionate people. You want to see other people do well. You want to see other people thrive. You want to see, other people go places, go far. You like people to feel good about themselves, and you like to encourage people. And, Jonas is that guy, man. I appreciate you. I really do, because I was kind of, being poopy pants a little bit yesterday and feeling sorry for myself a little bit. And just reading that simple comment was like, yeah, you know what, he's right. It is what it is. I did it. It's in the past. Leave it in the past where it belongs. Move forward, and just concentrate on making those little marked improvements every day. And that's what you really have to do if you're a person that struggles with addiction. It's not always a switch that you can just turn on and off. And if it were that, then none of us would be on here crying about being addicts, would we? No. We would have just flipped the switch and been done with it. I'm done with this shit. Flip the switch off, and then you never have any more cravings. You never have any more desire to go back to that substance. All your problems go away, and then this channel doesn't exist, and then you guys aren't commenting on the channels, and it's just a whole chain reaction of things that will be completely different. But that's one thing that I think makes life beautiful, that makes people beautiful, that makes our compassion for others beautiful. And I know I'm saying the word beautiful a lot, but it's just a beautiful thing. And I love that we can get on here and support each other in that way. And I try to give that same support back, because I know you guys, it's something we don't always talk about, but everybody out there, each individual person under the sound of my voice right now, has their own individual particular struggles. All of our struggles are not alike in the sense of the way they stem out and branch out into our lives, but the core, the root of the struggle is the same amongst all of us. And I think that's why we all can relate to each other really, really well. So Jonas, appreciate that comment, man. I'm gonna read one more from Down Home 316. I had a few interactions with him last night. He seems like a real cool dude. And we were talking about kind of what makes, because I was telling him, I've talked about on this channel how my wife takes kratom sometimes, but my wife has never gone overboard with kratom, ever. And she's one of those people that it just doesn't hit her that way. She likes it. She likes the effects of it. But if she takes too much of it, she'll kind of start getting nauseous and just like, it doesn't take much over like one capsule, or one kratom drink or something for her to where she just kind of, I'm not enjoying it anymore. I'm a little loopy. I don't really like the feeling. I get kind of a little dizzy. My stomach's a little, I'm a little nauseous. Her body just kind of has this natural defense of rejecting it. And it's interesting because that in and of itself is, I think, what separates a recreational user from a person who's an addict and then just feels like they have to have it all the time, every day, every minute of every day that they can have it, they are going to have it. Oh, give me some more of that. And there's a difference in those people and the people like my wife who can just take it on Monday and then, if I have kratom again at some point this week, that's cool. I'm not out seeking it out. I'm not driving out of my way to go to a head shop that's 20 minutes away to get this particular type of kratom product that I like. I'm not doing that, and I would do that. That's why I mentioned that specific scenario. I would, I was one of those people when I was addicted to those MIT 45s, man. I would drive to this head shop, and if they were out of them, I was already like on my phone, like, hey, you got the MITs over there, whatever. I was trying to find, what it was that really set me off and gave me that euphoria that I really, really loved. And my wife would never do that. She would never do that. She just wouldn't, she doesn't even go to head shops to buy kratom products. I do that. And she just takes what I bring home. But if there was a particular product that she liked and when she went to a head shop, they didn't have it, she just, I just won't take kratom today. It's cool. And she'd be fine with that. And her body would be fine with that because she doesn't take a large enough amount of it to where she's gotten hooked on it. So she doesn't have any withdrawals when she doesn't take it. Oh, how nice that would be, man. How nice that would be. But, there's a downside to everything. Everything that is good has a downside. Too much food Food is good for you, and I use this analogy a lot. Food is good for you. You have to have food to survive. But food in excess and eating the wrong kind of food, processed foods that are unhealthy, guess what? Food begins to become a detriment to you. It's no longer good for you. It's no longer healthy. You're eating too much of it, and now you're 600 pounds. You know, so there's really a lesson to be learned about moderation and all this stuff. So I want to move to Down Home 316's comment, and he says here, I've been reading the Alcoholics Anonymous book, and I think it really puts it best in there. What separates the addict type from the normal recreational user is an allergic reaction that then produces the phenomenon of a craving. It calls it an allergy of the body and an obsession of the mind. Basically, one's too many, Basically, one's too many and 1,000 not enough. A strange allergic reaction, albeit, but I really like how it described it. Most people take a couple of perks and they feel nauseated and don't finish their bottle, often after a surgery. But not me. I finished it early, then wanted more. My body is different than theirs. Not a matter of willpower. The part of the brain that controls willpower is like turned off or some shit. It's really trippy. I hate addiction. Anyway, that's how I've come to see it for me. It's a really good read and you may enjoy it, but just swap the word alcohol for whatever substance you're battling. God bless you, bro. I'll keep following, and thanks for the replies. And that was Down Home 316. Dude, when I saw this morning, I got up this morning and I saw that comment, I was like, well, that's not what I did, because I didn't have the paper at that time. I looked at my phone, I was like, that's the shit. Yeah, that's the word I needed. And I'm telling you, when you guys comment, man, I learn from you guys, you know, because there's certain things I do know, and there's certain things that I have known in the past that I've forgotten about. And then one of you guys will comment it, and I'll be like, yeah, that's right. I do remember that. And I do remember some of this because, you know, 15 years ago when I came off of Percocets and stuff, when I was, you know, 30-year-old guy, I actually did go to NA and AA for a little while. Now, I didn't stay in it, obviously, but I did spend some time in some of the meetings. I did read through some of the, you know, literature and stuff like that, and I do remember them talking about this, how there literally is just a difference in brain chemistry between a person who is a recreational user and a person who's not a recreational user. The same thing that I point back to, the same reason that, you know, I can bring home Kratom or go to the Kratom bar, and my wife can be with me at the Kratom bar. We'll be at the Kratom bar, and she'll order, you know, a double Kratom tea, and she'll be sipping on that, and I'll look over at her, and she'll have about this much left of the tea. She just took 3 or 4 sips out of it, and I'm already asking for my third drink. I'm not even lying to you. I'm over there drinking it like, gotta get a buzz. I mean, it's not, we are not similar in that way. That substance means something completely different to her than what it means to me. And we are a perfect example of the separation between a person who is a recreational user and that person who is an addict. You know, and just like, you know, Down Home 316 was saying, that is what we addicts keep trying to fit into our lifestyle and our psyche. We keep trying to be that recreational user. We are inevitably trying to always be that recreational user that we see Billy Bob over here being, or we see Sally over here who's, you know, takes the drugs and they don't have any problem with it. Why can't I? You know, this person takes a drink whenever they want to, and I don't see them, you know, running down the street naked 2 o'clock in the morning. Why am I out here running down the street in the mornings, 2 o'clock in the morning naked? You know, I mean, it literally is that different between two people based on whether they're recreational or whether they're an addict. And you know, and it's something that I don't even think, even though Alcoholics Anonymous has done a good job of identifying it, just like Down Home 316 mentions here, it's still something that even science can't really put their finger on, you know? People can't really put their finger on why some people get that first bottle of Percocets and they're like, oh, that shit made me feel weird. And then they've got a bottle of Percocets that still got 28 out of the 30 that they got in the prescription sitting up in their cabinet for 3 years, and this literally expired and it's still sitting there. And then there's people like us who visit their house, like looking through their cabinets like, oh shit, I don't give a shit if they're 2.5 years expired, I'm taking this, you know. It's just completely different physiology and biology between two different people's brains. And I guess for me, I'm gonna have to get to that point where I'm gonna accept the fact that, you know, maybe there are certain things that I can do in life. You know, I might be able to go home and have a glass of red wine every evening. That might be something I can do. But when it comes to opiates, you know, Kratom, Percocets, Oxycontin, Vicodin, anything like that, you know, I can't control that shit, man. I just can't. And I know the sooner I get to that point where I'm accepting that, the better it's going to be for me. Will I get there? That's the question. Will I get there? Will you get there? You know, I don't know, but I do know that we can support each other through it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Again, my name is Corey. I don't often say my name on here, but you know, I've done, I don't know how many videos at this point, and I've got a lot of folks that are following me and watching me every day. So, you know, I want you to know my name, and feel free to tell me your name. Feel free to drop a comment. Tell me your story, where you're at currently, where you've been. I've been everywhere, man. I've been addicted to Percocets, been addicted to Vicodins. I've been addicted to cigarettes for almost 10 years, been addicted to weed, been addicted to Adderall, Vyvanse, which is similar to Adderall. I had a little stint with Ritalin, which I mainly snorted like it was cocaine, literally. Messed around a handful of times with like cocaine, done acid a few times, mushrooms once or twice. Those things I don't have a whole lot of experience in, the psychedelics, although I'm not gonna lie, I've been a little curious about them more recently, but more for like microdosing and you know anyway, that's a whole different video. But subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. I'm just a guy going through and who has gone through a lot of the same struggles you have, and I'm here to talk about it. Again, appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, peace.